This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you slap a like on this for me. Well, Joe Budden, in Drake fashion, came back with another diss track 5 days later when he didn't hear a response from Drake. As you remember, last summer, Drake responded to his own diss track. He dissed Meek Mill on Charged Up and then came right back with back-to-back 5 days later because Meek wasn't responding. And that was the coffin track because they put him in the coffin right there. But Joe Budden came with Making a Murder Part 1, and then he decided to name this track Wake for some reason. I don't know. Maybe he just put the Part 1 to let you know something else is coming. He also tried to say he released the song at 2:31 a.m. because that's when the Sixth God was born. But anyways, let's break down this track. All right. The bars are there. But the beat is like putting me to sleep, honestly. And the part that killed Meek with Drake and the second one was like Charged Up was like, it was sleepy. You know, it had some bars, but it was sleepy. When you heard back to back, that beat was hard. Like it made you want to listen to it back to back. I mean, there was the whole reason he was dissing him back to back, and you wanted to play that shit back to back. But Joe Budden did come with the bars as usual. He's a lyricist, you know. So is Drake gonna respond? I don't think so. I mean, but we'll see. But let's break this track down. So he goes in and says, you know, he starts it off with like, yeah, waited 5 days. Where you at, Colin Stunning? You know, he's trying to play on the whole back-to-back joint. Then he said, he basically is, in the next comment, he's saying, are you at Hove show and you were scared to pull the cameras out? And he's talking about, you know, but the line before that, he's talking about, you know, scared to pull the guns out. It's like basically saying Drake is gun shy. He's not gonna, he didn't respond because maybe he's scared to spar with Joe, because Joe's a real lyricist and we'll give him a run for his money lyric-wise. Then he comments on, now this is a Canadian thing, okay? Like a lot, and when I went to Toronto, it threw me off because a lot of like people were speaking with a Jamaican accent that weren't Jamaican. Some white people were doing that, but that's like part of the culture up there. A lot of people from Jamaica moved to Toronto, but he comments and says, your Jamaican accent comes out depending on what state you in, basically saying like, oh, you use it when it benefits you. But, you know, basically Toronto, that's just part of their culture, so you can't really fault him for that. But it's kind of funny that he commented on that because I'm sure that throws a lot of people off when Drake starts talking with a Jamaican accent all of a sudden, you know, and they don't understand it. Then he goes on and he talks about how... Okay, this was a cold line. He said, I'm seeing habit switch, magic tricks, you froggy behind the Apple fix. So he's basically saying, like, well, you know, you signed a deal with Apple and all of a sudden you're going platinum in a week. You know, that's a little weird. And then he said, the passiveness in your manner, I might react to it. Like, you know, basically, you know, he's just, you know, whatever to Joe Budden. And then he says, automatic shit, ratchet kids at your crib that can't even spell Calabasas, bitch. That's funny. Because, like, you know what that means. That's where Drake's house is, in Calabasas. And he responded to Joe, supposedly, on 4 p.m. in Calabasas. He said, so I take all the guns, load half the clips. I just notice you run. We mentioned half the clips. Because, you know, Pusha T's always going at Drake. So he's like, you always run from that. You never address the Pusha T situation. Because Pusha T's a lyricist, too. I'll save that for another time. I'll get back to it. So maybe that's going to be on Making a Murderer Part 2. Then he mentions that you use people and love things. Where's the party album? We want the party album. You taking all his joints for your party album. Because Party's popping right now. Party's making the hits. But he doesn't have an album out yet. He's getting, you know, so like he's saying like, yo, when are you going to drop Party album? Like, why are you holding him up? Why are you being selfish? Then he said, you rap good, but I think you're more of an actor, because Drake started out as an actor under Degrassi, but he can rap really well too. He's saying, I think you're more of a actor. Then he says, then he basically says, Maybe they just woke up. You leverage your celeb, taking waves over. That's territorial takeover. Maybe he thinks nobody notices. Because he's saying, like, going back to the Gucci thing, he's saying, you rode Gucci's dick 2 seconds when he was home, trying to take his... Because Gucci was hot. Still is hot when he came home. And he wants a little piece of that, you know, that hotness. And then he said, body Versace flows, copy that he stole. Adios, mi amigos, or adios, amigo. What was your plot? Was that your plot all along? Like, you know, he's just going into hot waves, riding the wave, and then continuing his own wave. I mean, that's kind of valid, but whatever. And he said, why you ain't do that video with Fetty, but you hopped on the song? He also didn't do the song with Amigos, and he also didn't do the song with Future in the beginning. Remember when he jumped on Future's remix to, what was it, Scarface? Whatever it was. I forget. That was so long. I can't believe I can't even remember the track. But anyways, he didn't even jump on that video. Remember that Future and Drake had a little tiff in like 2011 over that Drake didn't show up to the video, but he did the remix. But, hey, he makes a point here. I can't even lie. Ends it all off with kind of saying you were going up on a Tuesday and now the weekend just hates you. Are you lifeless? You sound like a zombie on the track. Remember, started from the bottom. It was zombie on the track. He's just going at like the producers, like, I'm from Jersey, so zombie, I got your back. Okay, so basically he's saying, okay, know who else started from the bottom? Zombie on the track. How come after the joint I don't see zombie on the track? I'm from Jersey, so zombie, I got your back. Be alarmed, the real is finally back. He's calling Drake out on a lot of stuff here. This is going to be interesting. Now, the bars were there. The beat wasn't. So let's see if Drake responds. Last thing I'll note, do you guys notice that he kind of like is trying to take the blueprint from Drake's Coming at Meek Mill? He's doing that now. And even the cover with the baseball cover, Drake had a guy hitting the home run, and then now he has two baseball players fighting each other on Joe Budden's cover. He has that. I don't know. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. This is Jordan Tower with JT News, reporting as much news as possible.